lot of people have used. I think John Wooden has used it really well.
Do you think the team played more relaxed last night? And if so, how do you stay relaxed for the next game?
I think they played like we had played, you know, a couple times this year. We made shots. When we're making shots, it feeds everything. We could have a bunch of shots go in and out. They could have a couple shots go in and it changes the whole game in a minute. We could have gotten foul trouble. There's so many things that happen that impact the game. But we made shots and we got a rhythm going, and Texas A&M lost their rhythm for a little bit and we got a good lead. I like the second half actually, how we could. They really tried to pound us with twos, and we really did a great job, but for the most part, of taking care of the ball and then still getting just enough shots to go in.
Do you think that offensive explosion came from the ball movement and moving the ball around to find that soft spot?
Oh, I think it came more from our defense. They're a big, broad team. Texas A&M, big, broad team, really, you know, big. If you're playing in short spaces, they're really good. In a 94-foot game, you get them to miss. Now those big boys got to get down the other end of the court, and we were able to get down the court, separate them a little bit, and get them out in space.
With that mentality of preparing for the next game only, does that come in handy in a tournament like this where you have such a quick turnaround? Yeah,
I mean, it's really the only way you can do that. It's funny when I'm looking at the schedule and I'm saying, okay, we have 2 days, we have a day off, and then 2 days to prepare. It's like really difficult to what you do on that day off because you're thinking about it anyhow. When you just are like we were in the Big Ten tournament, 4 games in 4 days, you just get a rhythm that you're used to. And so this is, in a game like this is like normal for us right now. And we just take today and we don't worry about tomorrow at all. We just worry about today right now. And then whatever time the game is tomorrow, we'll be as ready as we can be. All you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough.
John, when you're in that 36-hour window, how much film do you cut and how many games do you watch?
Well, we got up really early this morning. All of us got up early, and I didn't do anything with Florida State except watch the game last night and study their stats before I went to bed. But I would say, you know, there's 4 or 5 hours this morning already put in by the coaching staff and by the student athletes. The student athletes did about 45 minutes this morning, and then they walked through for 45 minutes. And then today we'll watch another hour of film of us practicing and anything else that we clean up. Tomorrow will be another half hour or 45 minutes of film. We just try and get them really comfortable at seeing it, and over time it slows down for everybody.
In all the years and all the tournaments, how much have you played with your recipe for a 36-hour window?
It's about the same.
Okay.
It's about the same. I want to give them windows to rest. There's no, like yesterday, the day before, whatever, I was like, all of a sudden it was bedtime. It was 10. I don't realize I ever stopped, and that's the way it's going to be. There's a time to stop. It's when you either win the national championship or you lose your last game, and then it stops. There's no stopping right now.
What is your impression of Florida State?
Oh man, I've known Leonard for a long time, and they've been pretty much this extremely athletic team. Really guards you. Always has big guys. We played them in Puerto Rico a couple of years ago, and they had some of the largest people I've ever seen in my life. And they're just always a good team, very competitive, but usually a very good defensive team. Their length is tricky. Whether you're open for a jump shot or you're trying to make a pass by people, they get a finger on it or a hand on it, and then their transition offense is tremendous.
Do you have an anticipation for how your team will handle an Elite Eight, a big stage like this?
No, you never really know. But you know what? We've been on some pretty big stages, and we hope that it's the way we've handled a lot of those. If you've ever gone to Michigan State and tried to win a game, right? You've been in Madison Square Garden and tried to win 4 games in 4 days in front of sellouts. They've been on pretty big stages. I thought it was in Wichita. It was a pretty big stage. So I hope we handle it the best we can. If they don't, it's not the end of the world. We're doing our best every day. That's all it is.
Are there any similarities to Texas A&M, Coach? Florida State?
I think Texas A&M has a lot of length. They're broader. They're stronger. But they're not as they're more athletic in small spaces. This team's more athletic in a wide open game.
Coach, how difficult is it to prepare for a team that has so much depth like Florida State?
Yeah, I think that people, depth at this time of the year is good to have. but because of the longer timeouts, because of the just the general, people are accustomed to playing these minutes, that it's a factor. It's not a big factor in games having depth. I don't believe that. Now, maybe it is, but I tell you what, they have great depth, tremendous depth. But it's not going to be like, oh, okay, they beat us because of their depth. I think they'll beat us because they're a better team.
Why is it so unusual for teams at this time of year not to go down to like a 6 or 7 man rotation, but instead they go deep still like Florida State is?
You think it's unusual with what they're doing?
It seems to me.
Yeah, I think that they've probably played that way all year, and it's worked really well for them. You look at their scores; they've had a heck of a year. The ACC was a terrific conference this year. And you look at any losses they had, they were playing. They lost to, I think Wake Forest was the only non-NCAA team that they lost to during this year. We lost to Nebraska, which turned out not being an NCAA team. So we might have lost to somebody else too. I don't. LSU was not an NCAA team. So they really have had a great year. But they played this way the whole year, and I wouldn't stop doing it if I were them either.
Coach, when you're watching film preparing for an opponent, are you ever more confident going into one game versus another, or are you always super nervous?
No, I don't give my. Sometimes I really look at it and I say we got. There's trouble ahead here. This is really difficult. I would go the other way, and I always say this team is really a really good team. We're going to play our best basketball game of the year. Sometimes we don't. We still win. But I'm always very leery of having any confidence going into a game, and I'm very similar for this game.
Do you feel like the players